Chapter 2. To Kafiristan and Back. I went to the market the next day. It was a place where all the nationalities of Central Asia come, as well as people from all over India, and where you could buy ponies, precious stones, cats, sheep, and hundreds of other things, many of which don't even have names in English. A priest approached me, carrying a child's toy, and his servant walked behind him, carrying a heavy basket full of children's toys. Everybody laughed at them, and a horse trader told me they were mad. He is going to Kabul to sell the toys to the Amir, but I think that he will have his head cut off. God protects the mad, said an Uzbek, and they always bring good luck. The Uzbek shouted to the mad priest, "Where do you come from?" "I come from Rome, blown by the breath of 100 devils across the sea. Listen, all you liars and thieves. Who will take me north to help me sell these magic toys to the Amir? God will protect you if you protect me." A trader from Usufzai told him there was a caravan leaving from Peshawar in 20 days, and that he was welcome to join it. The priest and his servant leapt onto their camels. As they left, the priest turned to me and invited me to come a little way along the road with him, promising to give me a ring that would make me the king of Kafiristan. Suddenly I understood, and I followed the priest and his servant out of the market. When we reached the open road, the priest spoke to me in English. It was Dravat. Carnahan was his servant, and they had 20 of the best rifles that money could buy, with ammunition for them hidden under their basket of toys. They both shook hands with me and said goodbye, and I watched the camels go down the road. I was certain that I would never see them again, because their plan was insane and full of danger. 2 years passed. Lots of things happened in those 2 years, and all of the important ones were recorded in our newspaper. Kings died, but the daily work in our office remained the same. On another one of those hot, dark nights, I was again sitting alone in the office, waiting for some news to come by telegram, when a strange creature crept into my room. It was a man, but his head was sunk between his shoulders, and he shuffled along like a bear. He was dressed in rags, but he called out my name and told me that he had returned. "Give me a drink," he croaked. "Don't you know me? I am Peachy Carnahan, and I was the king of Kafiristan, together with Daniel Dravat, and you have been sitting here all that time." I was more than astonished and said so. We were real kings, with crowns on our heads. Poor Daniel, he would not take advice, though I begged him. I gave him a whiskey and told him to stay calm and tell me his story slowly. "I am not mad," he said, "but you need to look into my eyes, or I will forget." I saw his hands, and they were like bird claws, with a strange scar on the back of each. Then I looked into his eyes. "You left the market on your camels with Dravat dressed as a mad priest, and you were his servant. Can you remember that?" I asked. "Yes, and we joined a caravan, but we left it before Jagdalak, because we heard that the roads to Kafiristan were good from there. We dressed in all sorts of strange clothes. Dravat burnt off half his beard and shaved his head into strange patterns. We went into the mountains, which were tall and black, and they always fought each other." I looked at him strangely and said to him slowly, "Here, have another glass of whiskey." He continued, "After a while our camels could go no further. We killed the camels, but first we unloaded the guns and ammunition, and when 2 men came along with 4 mules, we killed one of the men. The other one ran away, leaving us the 4 mules. So we put the rifles on the mules and went further into the mountains. Dravat sang as he went along, but I was afraid and begged him to stop. Dravat wouldn't stop, saying that if a king could not sing, it was not worth being a king. We marched through the mountains with our mules and our guns for 10 cold days, and then we came to a wide valley. The mules were almost dead, so we killed them and sat on the boxes of guns. 10 men came running into the valley carrying bows and arrows, and chasing 20 men with bows and arrows. We could see that this was an opportunity to start the business of becoming kings. We took out our rifles and began to shoot at the 20 men, and killed most of them. Then the 10 men fired an arrow at us, but Dravat fired a bullet over their heads, and they all fell down. Dravat walked over to them and began to kick them, and then he shook hands with them in a friendly way. He made them carry the boxes of guns across the valley and up a hill to their village, as if he were already their king. In the village, there were some very large carved rocks, and Dravat stood in front of the biggest one, opened his mouth, and pointed down it. One of the men offered him some food, but he refused. Another man offered him food, but he refused again. Then the oldest and most important-looking man in the village offered him some food, and he accepted it. That's how we came to our first village, as if we had tumbled out of the sky. But later we tumbled from one of those rope bridges, and you can't laugh much after that. Have some more whiskey, I said to him, and tell me how you became kings. Chapter 3.